My name is Kamran Akbarzadeh, CEO of Project Control Academy, and I'm here today with another live streaming session. Previously, we used to call this one LinkedIn Live, but now we go live in 3 channels: LinkedIn, the primary channel, and then YouTube channel. That's where our YouTube Project Control Academy pages, and also on our Facebook page, Project Control Academy's Facebook page. These are the locations or channels that we stream this session to. And as you know, these live streaming sessions are all about sharing news, sharing some information, technical, non-technical, also having some guests once in a while to have some insights from them regarding a specific topic. And today I have a special guest with me. You might have seen the announcement on LinkedIn. I have Dr. Lingguang Song, the chair and a professor from the University of Houston. He's the chair of the construction management department. And he is going to be one of the panelists at the Project Control Summit 2022 that will be held live virtually from May 18th to May 21st. So if you have not registered for this conference, just go to projectcontrolsummit.com and register for the summit. The registration is free, and if you want to get access to recording and so on, then you can do that and get the VIP or executive ticket. Now, before I bring Dr. Song in, I want you to put your name and where you are from in the chat box, so we just start there. Okay, so let me see if we can see everything. Now, yes, Sonam from Bhutan, I think. Sonam, welcome. Introduce yourself, where you are from. It doesn't matter if you are on LinkedIn or if you are on YouTube. There is a chat box that you can put your name and your location. Okay, so yeah, I see also, let's just bring that. Srinivasa from UAE, welcome. Devanshu from India, welcome Devanshu. And the good thing about this is this channel, this platform, is that I can show your comments on the live stream. So that's something cool. And then we have Maro Banson from Canada. We have Najla. Hi, Najla. Najla is going to also be one of the other conference speakers and panelists in the summit. Welcome. And then we have Furkan from Turkey. Great, lots of people joining. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Dr. Song just on right now. Hello, Dr. Song.
Hey, good morning, Kamran. How are you?
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Song, for joining me on this live call. I just introduced you, just your name and your title. But in order to get to know you better, I would like you to introduce yourself further, maybe share with us your journey, how you started, and how you have become the Dr. Song that we know today.
All right, great. Well, first of all, thank you so much for accommodating me today, invite me to this live session, and also in the Project Control Summit next month. And also looking at all this impressive people all over the world, Project Control, construction management is such a great career. I'm really happy that I'm choosing this career path, right? This is going back to almost 20 plus years. when I'm thinking about, hey, should I be an architect or engineer? So I decide to be a civil engineer. And then after civil engineer, I was thinking the managing projects and time costs and people team is just fascinating. So just one thing led another. I was involved in some of the large commercial construction projects, and then moved to Canada, seeing some of the largest mega projects in the world, especially in the oil and gas and um, the oil and sand business in Alberta, Canada, right? So one thing led to another. I just feel the subject of construction management, project control so fascinating. So I decided to go with a master in construction, and then pursue a PhD from University of Alberta on construction engineering and management. Fast forward, I moved to Texas in 2004, so it's been 18 years with the University of Houston. But the industry is just so nice to us, and including myself, and offer not only the opportunity for me to do teaching research in construction management, but also allow me to have opportunity to practice, right, through the consulting work, through even part-time employment with a company like a Baker Concrete or Floor Corporation in the last quite a few years, right? So I can maintain my industry practice, but at the same time working on my research and teaching. So really grateful for the opportunity given to me, consider my international background and so on and so forth. So I'm so glad to be here. I want to share my view about construction digital transformation, and also my view from academic perspective, but at the same time, bring in some of the industry practice that I have doing research, and also working with more than 70 company in or industry advisory board on curriculum, applied research, innovation effort, and things like that. So I want to comment on those, and think that not only be able to comment on, of course, the higher education, what happening here, but also some of the observation and understanding when I working with our industry partners. So let me stop there. Cameron, back to you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Dr. Song. So to get started, we are going to have a conversation on construction digital transformation and the role of higher education. So we know University of Houston has this construction management department providing higher education to those who want to get into the construction industry. At the same time, we see the world overall is moving toward digital transformation. And one question is the impact of digital transformation on the construction industry. We know construction is one of those traditional sort of industries that some people may say it resists or it may not really go through the digital transformation. What's your thought on the impact of digital transformation or digital economy on the construction industry?
Okay. Well, Cameron, I have to agree with you, and of course, our audience here today, that construction industry always have that image, right? And resist to change, or not as innovative, not as technology driven. But I really think that things are keep changing. Just think about a few parameters here in U.S., for example. Look at the construction. There are $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, right? And that's the largest in the history. And I think many countries doing the similar things to re-incentivize their economy after COVID. And I feel that there is opportunity for construction to contribute, of course, but at the same time, we do need to look at our productivity, efficiency. We don't want to build that the past inefficiency or some of the waste into the new investment. So we are held accountable, right? For that reason, I think idea for improving productivity performance is always important, including the whole movement about digitization, or even better, the digital transformation. This is a must to have. So when people asking, should we adopt construction digital transformation, for example, what's the impact? I think my immediate response is, why not, right? We will, because I think because of the economic reason and also the social responsibility, and I think the construction industry need to step up to improve the performance. So we're talking about the bottom line saving in terms of improving productivity. Your labor, equipment, and your business process will be more efficient, right? And also in the near future, another movement is coming toward us is sustainability. And the whole thing about the carbon capture, carbon energy transition, and circular economy, for example, I been working with some, one of the panel member you made that on circular economy. Those come toward us, and it means that we're not only going to, in the near future, managing project time, cost, quality, and safety, but also we need to manage the carbon, right? What is the how much we release to the environment? So what is going on with your project gradually? How much we contribute? How much we reduce the emission, right? All those need to be managed, and the construction digital transformation play a role. So I think that we all understand the benefit. If you're looking back in the history, look at what we do with drawings and blueprint. It was manual drawings and then changing to computer-aided design, right? Assisted design, CAD, and then from 2D CAD to 3D CAD to 3D modeling to building information modeling, and moving forward to AR, VR. We do see that there is a trend that we accepting all those new technologies into construction and engineering design industry. So I have no reason to say that, hey, this time around it will be different, right? The only observation is, I think the change that we face with is actually getting more often and more faster. So it's not really acceptable to say that, oh, we will take 2 decades to do certain things. That's not a reality. So we're going to more and more seeing technology, including all these things that we cover, going to cover in terms of digital transformation technology, that you're going to see a faster adoption, right? And just one piece of evidence I want to share, that the other day I was looking at the McKinsey company's reports, and they're saying that basically says that the growth rate of a venture capital investment in construction technology is 15 times higher than all the other sectors. So I'm not talking about they're not talking about the absolute dollar value, but they talk about the growth rate. So other words, indicating that there is a way the construction industry pick up the investment in new technologies and startup companies. And this industry already a $5 billion industry here in the US. So there is no reason that we believe this is going to be a slow process. We're going to see more innovation and digital transformation technology introduced to a construction industry.
Perfect. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts there, Dr. Song. Now there is a comment here that I want to kind of highlight it, because that kind of is a segue to the other question about the challenges and opportunities. Mohammed Umar Malik from Dubai, UAE. The comment here is that currently clients have resistance against digital transformation, particularly having to change their project controls procedures, which traditionally they're non-digitized practices. So I would say this is right, but at the same time, as you say, this is something similar to the past that we've seen, these like phases that industries go through, and whoever resists at some point they have to join the rest. Now, what would be those sort of challenges and opportunities that we see in the construction industry, short term and long term? I would say short term would be like the ones that we just based on this comment, some resistance. What in your mind would be the major challenges that would be even longer term sort of challenges and opportunities that they introduce? So we get some excitement around this topic of digital transformation.
All right. I think that's an excellent comment, and also the question from the audience that I think partially the reason that there is technology adoption is a little on the slow pace in construction is because the construction industry are not a risk-taking industry, right? Where I think we promised the client to deliver a project on time, within budget, and they, in general, the culture is we don't want to try anything new in our projects because I want to eliminate all the risk. I don't want to try some new things, and we rather want to rely on best practice to deliver a project, successful project, instead of saying that we're going to introduce some innovative thinking in this projects and also introducing more risk to the project. So understandable that initially the clients or even the contractor themselves will have some resistance to this, right? And I think that's linking back to almost for all the new things, new change, that there is several things that come together. One is the top management support, and the other one is, of course, the culture and the people, right? And lastly is the resources, the investment in the technology, equipments, and so on and so forth. So I think the initial resistance to change is part of the leadership problem, right? So yes, we do need to convince the client why this, for example, digital transformation or new way to do things makes sense. I just want to give you one example. One of our recent research is using artificial intelligence to help support engineering design. And this particular example referring to the pipeline design, right? And think about the pipeline from point A to point B. Yeah, you can have hundreds, 1,000 different ways to route your pipe. In the past, we can select maybe 3, 4 different design options, and then we compare in terms of time, cost, and supply chain, and all this consideration, which one deliver the project outcomes, right, with the lowest cost and reasonable time. But then with this new idea about artificial intelligence, we don't have to limit ourselves to a few solutions. We can actually test automatically using computer algorithm to test hundreds or even thousands of design options. The pipe route can be so many different ways, right? Beyond the human capability. We can examine hundreds of different design options and evaluate their costs and even from a sustainability perspective, not only the time and the cost, but also how much carbon we contribute or reduce using different pipeline route. And we can do that in a few hours compared to almost impossible to compare that many of design options, right? And even you want to do it, and each one will take quite some time to analyze. And with the computer, with artificial intelligence and the historical data that we have, we can do this design evaluation very quickly. And this is not even possible in the past. And that's why here we talk about the digital transformation is not just we do things faster or more efficient. We're talking about a new way of doing things, a more interrupted way. It's not new process. It's not no longer the same process that we utilized in the last several decades, right? And the things like this can be used to inspire people to think and also inspire them to invest into, for example, digital transformation that we talk about here, right? It doesn't always mean millions of dollars investment. Many times it's just changing the way that you look for things and then be innovative. For this particular research, we work with one of the EPC contractor. The cost is really low because the way that we work with university and student researchers. But regardless, we come up with good results, not costing that much financial resources. And I think those become convincing evidence to show them that, hey, we can be a little open to new approach. Cameron, let me stop there.
Yes, very good. So I like when you said this is not about really all these buzzwords and tools. It's about new way of doing things and even better way of doing things or more efficient way of doing things. So great response there. There is one question from Furkan. I wanted to move to another question, but I think this is good time because we talked about the technologies and the research and in this area. Furkan is asking which specific technology will have the greatest potential to transform construction and how. So any thoughts in there before I move to the next question I have?
Sure. I think quick thinking, because my expertise is mostly toward the construction project management, right? So we're talking about, hey, how the construction manager can better plan and control their projects. So that's where I want to make some quick comments. In regards to construction itself, it's field operation, all this labor intensive or equipment intensive operation. I do see more upcoming technology in terms of robotics, right? And coming toward us. Even the other day, we have a student joined a company that is doing a 3D printed houses here in Austin, Texas. So that one is coming very quick toward us. It's not just in the research lab, it's coming, the construction robotics. And also another observation is, if you read the news, and I think even before COVID, company, for example, this company in California already developed a system to retrofit construction equipment, for example, a truck or excavators or bulldozers, so that they can more like running on like a robot, right? And it continue performing 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. And people like project manager can control the equipment remotely. And those technology, we're not talking about again in research stage. They're already the technology already available, right? So for construction, I do see that reducing reliance on labor and doing more prefabrication, that's the future of construction. So the stick build, it will exist for some certain type of project, but pre-construction, the prefabrication, modularization, and robotics is the future for construction operation, right? So moving back to construction management, I think the comment is quickly is, to me, construction manager dealing with data, right? You're using data to control your projects and make a decision to make sure that your project stay on track. So in that regards, the real-time data collection, remote sensing, such as drone or different type of sensor that tracking labor equipments, is important to give you a real-time awareness of where your project is. So for you to make an informed decision. And once that you have the data, finish one project, another, and you use the data for you to do future project planning, right? For example, productivity estimating. You don't need to rely on RS means or Richardson manual to look at for productivity of other company. You actually have the data from yourself. So with that the data availability, data analytics, and a forecasting model, we can do a better job in project planning for the future projects, right? And within that, of course, you have all this solution of hardware, software that doing cloud-based computing, information system, AI and data analytics, and people call it machine learning, and simulation, better visualization, right? So those are coming toward the project control and construction management in the near future, and even as we speak now.
Very good, very good. So both on the hardware and software data, we see some first-hand, I think the technologies that are already there. It's not that we think of 10 years, 15 years from now. They're already there and being applied. So it's now up to companies, I would say, to take it on and go with it and grow or resist. So I think the transformation is there and it's coming, and it may disrupt the whole thing quickly. Very good answer. Now, I want to now sort of have a segue here to the role of higher education. You are the chair of the construction management department at the University of Houston. And you have also been in the industry. You have the experience with the companies that are doing projects, mega projects in construction. What is that role, right? So what is higher education, like university with the research and development side that you are doing? What is higher education doing to support this digital transformation in the construction industry and help the industry, the companies, to make these things happen also?
Right. Well, a great question. And apparently, I'm in academia, in higher education, but at the same time, we are in construction, right? Because the way that I see myself is more like manufacturer as well. Hey, I'm a supplier because what I supply is not bricks or steel. I supply talent and students, right? In that regards, we're part of the industry. We prepare what we call the industry-ready graduates, so that they work in the industry, because eventually they graduate, they become part of you. And that's why there is a reason that I want to emphasize industry university collaboration, right? The partnership, because we are the industry's ultimate or customers, and that's why we call ourselves the industry's university program. We really, by the end of the day, we're here. We exist because the industry, because you need the talents, right? Project management, project control specialists, and so on and so forth. Of course, coming back to the university campus, our job is educating. But that education doesn't mean that we lock ourselves on campus only. We have so many ways to want to prepare the student that can be successful in the future. So we talk about the industry readiness. Just think about this, right? When the student finish with us, we want to make sure that they can graduate today and tomorrow they become a project assistant project manager or estimator or whatever the function they are. They be immediately contributing value to their employer. We don't want them to wait another 2 months or 3 months or 6 months to be retrained to be ready to bring value to the customers, right? But also we want them to lead industry revolution. Again, now tagging back to this digital transformation, we believe that the industry will be different in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years. And those or graduates going to work there for several decades. We want them to not only be able to deliver project success today, but also leading industry revolution tomorrow. So in that sense, we need to prepare the student to be open to technology, can thinking innovatively. That's why we introduce a new curriculum called the Construction Digital Transformation, right? And this is the first I'm aware of here in US, and this is the first construction management degree that having a concentration in digital transformation because we value the part of technology savvy, the future. They need to get used to it and be familiar with not only the traditional project management, like managing costs and schedule, but also open to new technology, new development in the industry, right? So in that regards, we have degree programs to educate. We have a certificate program to helping working professionals. That way is the way that we help prepare the student that can be valued by our industry partner.
Very good, very good. Now, as the lead, as a lead in the industry on the higher education side, you are also a professor who teaches the concepts and does research in this area. Also, someone who knows the industry also. What is your vision when it comes to digital transformation? Definitely, there was a reason that you started digital construction and thinking that way. What is the vision that you came up with your team in order to really take this also to the next level at the University of Houston?
Sure. First of all, I want to remind you and everybody that the construction education in higher education not only means for full-time professors. We are actually getting support from our industry partner. Like I mentioned, that there is more than 70 company in the industry advisory board. They're interested in the education, but also curriculum, and not only guiding us on curriculum design, like such as this one, the digital transformation, that we're going to involve the industry company professional and expert involved into design the curriculum and also deliver the curriculum. Right. So this is going to be a product from industry and university collaboration, not just from those PhD in civil engineering or construction engineering. To answer the other part of your question, I think just to summarize, I know that I have a lot of things to share, but I definitely don't want to change this one to a lecture. But tie back to my previous comments, I think the vision for digital transformation is, again, starting from culture. We want to train the student that they can think differently. They can be think out of the box, and knowing that there is technology available, having some basic understanding about how the technology works, and then they can use that knowledge, become more of a system analyst. So looking at it not only from a traditional view of construction project management, but also from IT perspective, how the technology can help you to make your process more efficient. So that's our education vision. We want to, again, training the student to be industry ready and leading the future revolution. From an industry perspective, we've been based on the research that, several research we did with companies. Those are applied research. I rather hope not to call them research, it's more innovation. In my book, the definition for innovation is really using existing knowledge, turn them into profitable solution. That's what I mean by innovation. Research is more like turning money into new knowledge, right? And that's why the federal agency supports some of the scientific research. Those are just geared toward generating new knowledge, right? But we are in the industry that we want to help the industry become more profitable by doing innovation to transfer some of the proven technology into the construction business, right, to save money. So from that sense, I think there is several areas that we focus on. Number one is a real-time system and remote sensing, so that, again, linking back to the idea that we have a real-time awareness about the project performance, from the labor equipment all the way to project overall performance, right? And second part is how we can utilize the data for values, for example, for project control, for forecasting. And then in the long term, we want to use this historical data that we collect from active projects that we did, and then help us to do better planning for future projects, right? So in that regards, you see the constant theme of collecting data, analyzing the data, and then use the data for long-term planning of the projects and support the project success. So in general, that's high level that what I think the industry need to do.
Very good, very good. Thank you so much for a great answer. Now we have some communication
Sure.
on the channel. I want to go back three sort of questions I want to ask you. So let me just go here first. Vladimir is saying maybe for construction industry, drones, automatic GPS, machine control with engine based on electricity, and on digital data preparation, not on oil and gas 3D print. So I kind of do not get the kind of question, but I think it's more of specifying which industry could use which technology maybe more, let's say construction versus oil and gas. So do you think, for example, drones would be more appropriate for construction versus oil and gas, or really drones, for example, could be used in any industry?
I think so, but maybe step back, not directly response to the question is again, I'm more looking at initially the culture shift toward the digital transformation. Again, I don't agree that you suddenly need to invest hundreds, $1,000 and millions of dollars into digital transformation. In fact, that there is many tools even free of use, right? And you can, I think the most important thing is the leadership has a vision and a strategy toward this whole thing about digital transformation to maintain their business to be competitive, right? At the same time, you encourage everybody to participate in that, culture shift. Let's be, allow people to think differently. Let them, we have procedures and protocols, but let's, always keep an eye on new things that we can do to improve our performance. By the end of the day, the whole thing about digital transformation is using technology to interrupt what you do. But what the business really interested is looking at a more efficient way to do things, right? So in that regards, I think the leadership need to support a more such culture that we can allow everybody to contribute to the rethink about the business, reimagine our business. Then again shift the focus on, hey, what software, what hardware we should use, and whether they fit for my projects, and when I start implementing the technology. I think this is really the technical question, right? And I understand each corporation and company are different, so they have to make a decision which type of technology to adopt, when to adopt. And different companies have a different appetite for risk and resources. They may want to be the early adopter. Some or prefer to see when certain technology become more mature, adopting something that commercially available. And then you have a company like some of the company we deal with. They're very aggressive. They invest in money developing in-house application. They are not going to wait for commercial products. So I think in that regards, those questions are more like individually for each company to answer.
Exactly. And I think overall, again, leadership at the top is responsible. Also, I think people that are dealing with projects directly are also responsible to see in which areas they can bring these new technologies for digital transformation, and then influence the higher management that yes, this can create a great result or productivity or ROI for them. So exactly, it's up to the companies and also higher management and people involved. Now, another question, Dr. Song, from Omar Malik. He's saying that which course would be good for me having more than 15 years of experience in project controls, especially in terms of digitization. From your point of view, what sort of course would you recommend for someone who's been there for a long time, especially when it comes to digitalization or digitization?
Okay. Yeah, I like that aspect of lifelong learning, right? Because things are keep changing and coming toward us more often. So I think it's important that to keep up with all the new development. And in terms of the training, I think many times I feel that, hey, most of us already have the university education. You may be able to pick up on some of the books and teach yourself. And also remember that there is a training courses, right? For example, Project Control Academy, right, offer training courses, universities, and many of the training agency that providing many of the courses, and many of them are online, so it doesn't matter where you are, and easily adapt into your working schedule. In terms of courses, I feel that, for example, taking University of Houston as an example, we have 6 courses for all students, right? And maybe that's partially answer your question. One is about cloud computing, right? Because tools like Procore, information system, databases, and those are important concepts to grasp if you want to understand how the information and data flow within the projects. And then we have another course about remote sensing, and this is referring to the drone application and data analysis and 3D laser scanning. And then we also have another course on basically the AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning, and how you can analyze data, right? And then we also have, finally, we have a couple of courses, one on innovation management, because we know that this is, you're not only technology, but also there is a leadership involved, teamwork, and management. So that's why we have a course that training student on innovation management. By the way, when they finish that, they got the Blue Belt certification for innovation management. When you look at all these courses, part of the feature of the courses is to include industry recognized credentials, right? And that's to give you another idea. Hey, go to Microsoft. I know many of you, there is one comment from the audience talk about Power BI and all the data visualization. Microsoft have data analytics certificate. And if you look at Amazon, cloud-based computing, and there is a thing from Microsoft, all this major wonder in technology that they have certification that you can get. In addition to the traditional one that we have, like P6, Primavera, or other traditional certification, right? Again, there is a possibility that if you're further interested, maybe consider going for additional study, even a degree program, right? A master degree program. And by the way, a lot of now the trend in the higher education is going online, and it's a much more accepted from the university perspective, and also welcomed by the students. So they don't have to quit their full-time job and joining, university on a full-time basis. You don't have to be in, local, right? You can take the classes anytime, and sometimes the courses may even have, asynchronous learning mode, so that you don't have to be there, 6 to 7, right? You can control the learning on your own pace. So hopefully that answered the question in a short way.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Song. Definitely, lifelong learning is very important. So no matter how many years you are in the industry, it's moving, right? And we have to grow with that as well. So Muhammad Umar Malik at Project Control Academy, as you know, so we are educational provider. We have visual data analytics with Power BI course for project controllers specifically, that is very hands-on, that you can take. That's an advanced course, and I'm just putting that one because Project Control Academy put that one there as a course that is available. Now, let me, Dr. Song, let me move to the next question from James Arrow. So James is also one of the experts that we work with as part of the EPIC program that we have. And he's a thought leader on the risk side, quantitative risk analysis and data literacy. So his question is, for companies receiving industry-ready students, are there things such companies should be doing to better receive them? Are there data literacy programs and for data standards that you would recommend companies start looking at?
Okay, very good question. I think that's why we have such a large industry advisory board, because that's more like a conduit to keep providing feedback when they hire the graduates, working with them, and they keep constantly observe their performance and providing feedback to our curriculum so that we can keep updating and keep up with what the industry really requires the student to do. And that's eventually the industry readiness. I think the industry readiness is really from the industry perspective, not from our perspective, right? We can give student A whatever we want to teach and whatever research we do, but ultimately that's not our purpose. Our purpose, or the reason that we exist, is because we want to respond to industry needs. So I think I can tell you, this construction digital transformation is coming from the industry request. They said that we're okay with your student that doing traditional contract management, safety, quality, and estimating and planning, but we do want them to be educated on this data-driven environments, because that's what they do. They have, for example, data-centric execution strategy. They want to support this digital transformation. So your student need to come out with some preparation. For example, let give you one example: the concept of database, or even some of the programming skill, which is not traditional for construction students. They don't need to know that. They're not computer science professionals. But because this whole movement toward digitalization and more digital tools being utilized in construction, and there is a need for the student to understand how data flow, how data is managed, how data is analyzed. And that's why we need to put some courses in our curriculum, so that students become more comfortable having the basic common sense and ideas. So when they graduate, they work with IT professional, with construction people together. They can develop a good plan to analyze their system process, redesign it along with the support from IT. But they really need to have the knowledge to talk smartly, meaningfully with the team that they deal with, right? Engineer, architect, engineers, and IT people. So that's why we're having the industry's inputs, and then building into the curriculum, so that we can, in the near future, the student will be more prepared for them, right?
Very
Another
good.
example is the advanced work packaging, one of the best practice. Industry tell us, hey, they need to know this, and now we build this one into our curriculum as well.
Great. Thanks a lot for your response. There are more questions, but we don't also have much time. I just wanted to tell everyone that Dr. Song is going to be one of the panelists in a panel that we will have during the summit, Project Control Summit 2022. The panel theme is about the future of construction and the role of project control. So there we more specifically discuss the role of project controls in the future of construction. And we have a panel of 6 experts and thought leaders from the industry, including Dr. Song. So if you have not registered for the summit yet, here is the link, very easy, projectcontrolsummit.com, so you can benefit from all the discussions and presentations that many of them are future looking, because we are really moving fast toward the future and the transformation, and you as project professionals should be ready for the transformation. Now, Dr. Song, I have a couple of more questions to finish. One of them is about project controls, right? So I know you have some experience in project controls, and we have many people joining us from the project controls background. Now, when it comes to construction industry, digital transformation, what would be that role of project controllers? Do you foresee more important role for project controllers in future, and how you foresee that?
Sure. Well, I think my personal interest in general construction management, but if you look at the project management, I think project control is the most part of I'm really interested. By the way, even look at the education program here at the University of Houston, we actually took a focus on project control. Of course, when I say project control, the concept is more covering planning, before the project starts, and then when you start a project started, you keep observing your progress measurements and observing your performance and take corrective action, right? The whole thing about project planning and control. So in that regards, our curriculum actually geared toward preparing students beyond the basic education in, for example, contract, material methods, and computer tools. We also focus on the project control. So we have a 2 estimating control and a capstone class to make sure that the student not only talk about the general management of construction project, but with a specialty in project control, to say, right? So that's from our education perspective. And I think project control, again, personally think that play a central role in project management, and even growing importance, right? And we need, for example, contract. We need construction lawyer dealing all this dispute, change orders, and all that. We still need that. But in the future, I'm taking a more optimistic perspective to say that the technology will make construction more efficient. So this is probably where you can gain more return investment in the future. And central to that is the project control, the information, right? You collect, again, going back to the concept, collecting data, analyze it, and use it for planning. And this is all about information, nothing about how to lay a brick or erect a steel, right? So in that regards, I think from our perspective, we're happy in the business to prepare future project control specialists so that they can handle this whole thing about planning control, which is make a major impact on project success. And I think, again, look back based on one of the data points I got from CII, the Construction Industry Institute. They look at more than 900 projects. Only 5% of the projects considered to be schedule and cost success. And all the others are either impacted by cost overrun or schedule problem. Only 5% are considered to be all successful. So in that sense, I think not only for us in education, but also, of course, working professionals, we really need to finding a way to make our projects more reliable, right? And the project controls, and we talk about digital transformation. Things can ensure us to deliver a reliable projects, right? So I think that's important for the future of higher education and also project control. I was also thinking about the career-wise, right? I'm looking at the number from U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and in the next 10 years, construction management professional job is growth is 11%, is above the average of all other occupation, the average expected growth, right? So construction has lots of opportunity. Within that, construction management is a project control. And also, I think each year there will be almost 38,000 openings here in U.S. So that make a great career for students, for example, right?
Very good. Yes, definitely. There is a good future on our way as long as we kind of accept the challenges and welcome the opportunities and move forward there. So, project controllers, you have a good future in front of you as long as you're open to learning and educating yourself as well.
That's right.
And there are various ways that you can do so, either getting a degree or taking some training or attending conferences. All of these really count. Now, as my last question, Dr. Song, it's more about support of educational institutions like university or the ones that provide degrees, as well as like academies like us. How can the industry support higher education in preparing the future workforce to lead the digital transformation in the construction industry or any other industry? So,
Right.
what would the role of the industry for preparing the workforce of future?
Sure. Well, I first of all, I really appreciate look at this live session that me from the academia be able to have the opportunity to talk to the industry. That shows how much you value the higher education being a partner in construction, right? So for that, again, thanks Project Control Academy for this opportunity to talk. But again, for all the gentlemen, ladies today joining the session, I think you need to think about yourself as a partner, education partner with us, right? Because this is not just you're being the customer waiting for us to produce some products, which is a student give to you. It's really the part that you want to influence the process of manufacturing or production to make sure that the end results meeting with your requirements. So in that regards, I really want to invite our industry to be part of the education program in university or colleges, right? And I think it's very easy for industry to get involved. For example, consider joining an industry advisory board. Like I said, the industry advisory board help and guide the education program to design the curriculum and structure their, how they approach research, for example, right? So that's a very important way to we as in higher education receiving feedback from the industry. Another way that you can contribute is, for example, guest lectures, giving field trips, or even having some expert teaching in the classroom. We actually have 20 what do we call industry faculty or industry professor. There are full-time working professional teaching in the classroom along with the full-time faculty. I think students like that because they're not only learning the book knowledge, but at the same time, real-world case study, war stories and lessons learned. Students really like that model. And finally, I think it's very, very important of thinking about the internship. If I have an opportunity to hire summer intern or part-time job for college students, that's always welcome because just imagine that they learn knowledge in the classroom, but at the same time they apply it and seeing those knowledge and concept in action, that reinforcing what they learn in the classroom. That's just no better way to earning a construction manager degree. So in that regards, when you hire student intern, you are also helping to make their education experience more effective, and also you have the chance to retain them early. If they meet your performance requirements, you could give them a full-time job offer, right? So it's a win-win solution. So just in summary,
Exactly.
there's so many ways that they can contribute. Yes.
Exactly. And I remember when I was in the industry at Shell, I was the person between university and company, and I really could see enthusiasm in students' eyes when you see them and they know you're from the industry. They want to know more about what the company is doing and how they can join. And one point that you mentioned, internship, is very important. If there is an opportunity for internship that students could come for a summer, 2 months, 3 months to experience, that really would be great benefit to them, as well as I would say to the company that brings them in,
Right.
because these young professions, the ones that would be the future workforce, will have also some great insights that we never thought, right?
That's right.
And that's the beauty of it. When the experienced people work with the ones that are future thinking and they have ideas and they can bring newness, and together they can make great things happen. So thank you so much for being our guest today, Dr. Song. It was really a great conversation, very good comments and questions. Thank you so much to everyone who showed online and asked questions and got some response, great response and insights from Dr. Song. I'm sure that he will add even more value during the summit in the panel that we will have him. So I encourage everyone, if you haven't joined this summit, please go and register at projectcontrolsummit.com. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Dr. Song.
Oh, Kamran, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for being here and also meeting with you all virtually. I see some of the great questions from the audience, but we wouldn't have enough time to cover them. But I'm really interested to review those questions, or you can reach out to me by emails or go on our website. But hopefully we can continue this discussion. And again, look forward if some of you can join the Project Control Summit, and we'll see you there.
Yes, very good. And as you see, James also mentioned a comment, fantastic session. Thank you so much, everyone. I echo that. And definitely, if you want to, if you ask a question and I didn't bring that up, it's just because of the time limit, but you can find Dr. Song on LinkedIn and ask the question. I'm sure he'd be happy to help you with the answer.
Certainly.
Thanks again, everyone, and have a great day and night in front of you. Bye for now.